Hi everyone, and we're going to be talking about quantum self and the spiritual journey. So, if you are new here, my name is Azria. I'm a frequency translator. If you want to give me a label or title, um, for somebody who's been working with energies, um, spirit world, etc., for many years in my personal journey, and with clients as well. So, I've started this channel quite recently because I wanted to, or I was directed to share some knowledge, some wisdom, show you my journey as well. Because when sometimes I think we see people on here and there's some amazing people, it's kind of like they're separate to us. And I know I have placed people in that position as well. But it is all about that journey, isn't it, as well? So before I delve into that, I just wanted to say yes, hello there. My name is Azria. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you so much. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And if you're new here, thank you very much for tuning in. So before we go any further, as I was saying, we don't sometimes see the good side and the bad side. And I'm not saying like the negative, demonic, or anything like that. I'm talking about the everyday. I'm talking about the times when actually you just fancy a damn good cry. Sometimes those days when you can't be all love and light, but then that's another thing for another time. You might just get the days or the weeks where actually, especially at the moment, I said, and happy new year to everybody really. Now was it February 17th in the year of the fire horse? Because trust me, over the past, was it 72 hours, those energies have ramped up and they've changed. And also remember, we've got a number of other religious, and I use that word, stuff happening. We've got a new moon, and now I've done stuff on the phases of the moon before, how I align with it, what happens, how I use it. Again, it's not saying look at me, it's the case of this is what resonates with me, and this is maybe what you could do, or this is what is normal, or if you're feeling this way. So, because one of the things again I want to go into, and again I'm do this as well, is that we see people and they go, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I communicate here, I've done, and that's all absolutely fantastic. But then you do kind of step back and go, oh, I'm not doing that. That's not me. Why is it happening for her and not me? Where again, you just might be on a different part of your journey, a different part of your story. And as I said, it's not always the good and the bad isn't always shown. So this is just kind of like a little permission slip to go, you know what, even today in one of the most powerful energies on this planet, and I want to go into that in a second, and you're feeling a bit crap, you know what? That's okay. It is. It completely and utterly is. Sorry, when I take my glasses off, my hair goes a bit funny. It completely and utterly is. So, and I think what's been happening in the past few years, and this is where social media, I think, is absolutely fantastic in regards to spreading that energy, bringing that awareness. And we'll come on to awareness in a minute, but it's kind of like, you know, when you're at a concert and you get like some of the songs that a few people will be singing along to, and then there'll be that one that aligns with everybody. That's what we're in today. That is what everyone's tuning into, that fire horse energy. But most importantly, this year, way more people are. Way more people are tuning into that energy now. So that is ramping up and ramping up. There was a wonderful YouTube I saw the other day, Something Consciousness, and it was saying that like in what was it, 19 something or other. It was like not 60 years ago, but like 60 years before that. All these things were starting to happen. It was the collapse of this, and then 60 years after that, then we were like in the the hippy dippy times where everything was love, man, and like the contraceptive pill, so it was like this sexual explosion. Now we're another 60 years, and look what's happening at the planet now. Truth, dare I say the word light, awareness. Words like starseed, star being, quantum physics, energy flow, vibration, is all in our a lot of us is in our everyday language. And it's the collapse of all these big systems. We're finding out, and I'm not going into the Epstein stuff, I'm not going into anything like that. Not that it's too negative, because I think it really, really holds a place in history, and it really holds a place in our consciousness, how our consciousness is moving, how we're going into that heart cohesion, that heart center more, how we're learning to move into what's happening all in here to what's being pulled out here. And that is all a part of the movement. And as you said, over the past few years, it's more and more people have awakened, more and more people have tuned in, more and more people have gone back into that heart center and gone, oh, what is actually happening here? Oh, I like this. This feeling into me feels good. And then that's what you project out. So with that in mind, when we talk about the quantum self and the spiritual journey, same thing. Because a lot, when we talk about like spiritual journey, we sometimes look at affirmations and prayers and things like that. And 9 times out of 10, in my experience, they all start with the I am. Sorry, I've learned to, my desk is higher and I'm standing up. So if you see me wandering around, that's why. I kind of keep the energies moving throughout this. I find sitting down is a little bit too, I don't know what other word to use. I thought if I move around, I kind of keep the energies moving, keep it going. So please put in the comments whether me moving around too much is too distracting. And I'll see what I can do. But please bear with me. This is the first time I've tried doing it this way. So, and I could never get like a background lined up, and the lighting was never great. And I thought, fuck this. Like, you want me to like try and get all these messages out and communicate through and everything like that, and I'm bothered about bloody lighting and seats. And we are just so lucky today of all days. It is beautiful, beautiful sunshine. Look, if I open this up, look, you can see it absolutely streaming in. How beautiful is that? But then if I come here, you, oh, okay, no, some might move around a little bit. So there we go. But just back onto that bit for a second, is when we talk about said affirmation and prayers and affirmations don't come from a place of lack, because where you go, your energy flows. So if you are coming from a place of lack, guess where you're going to? A place of lack. So bringing the I am is you are starting from a place of awareness. You're not seeing it as something out there to bring in. You're not seeing it as a destination, because everything you want and everything you are is in here. So when we start from a place of I am, we are starting from a place of here, me, right here, right in here, I am. So whether it's a prayer, whether it's an affirmation, whether it's, I welcome you to start from a place of I am and feeling into this heart space. Feeling into this heart space. Also, another thing I wanted to say, excuse me, is that I really wanted to also bring out the fact that when we dive in here, right, we've got the rest of our system, chakra system, if you like, energy bodies to be contending with. So, yeah, I'm going, yeah, this area is all well and good, but see your body as a circuit, right? Your body is a circuit. So, and each chakra point is a major part of that circuit. So, like, for example, your root is your security and your grounding, and so on and so forth. I've done other videos around, or I will be doing other videos around those a bit more, and there's some great information out there. But I guess most of the people who'd be watching this video will know. So you've got your different energy centers. So this is where we're starting to bring it all together. This is where we're starting to bring the quantum and the spiritual. So where it's, as I said, it is all energy. It is all linked. And now the next video I'm going to do, or one a little bit further down the line, is more to do with the unified field, what we're actually connecting into. Because in those flows is so much information, so much data, but I'm going off track. So all of our systems work together. One affects another, affects another, and affects another. So when we look at our chakra systems, yes, it is about clearing them, unblocking them. No, I don't like using the word activation. You'll get to know that about me, because everything is moving anyway. But you're empowering it. You're giving it a bit of a boost. And there are so many different ways in order to help do that, either through connecting with me, but then or other practitioners, but there's also ways in which you can do it yourself. And again, I'm going to come on to that in another video. So knowing where your kind of baseline is. So what is happening with all those chakra points? What is happening with all those centers? Because it's all well and good going, yeah, in the heart, fantastic, where actually you're coming from, oh shit, I don't feel safe. Because that brings us on to the nervous system. See, the nervous system is also a part of this as well. See, us as humans, we've got so much to bloody contend with. It's unreal, isn't it? So I know myself. So kind of when I was a child and everything, yes, everything was open, everything was magical. I mean, there was a load of shit going on at the same time. But as I keep on saying, I was the one who was talking to the roses and things like that when everyone else was off playing football. But then you get to a point in your life where, or not necessarily you do, but I did, where you stop feeling safe. Because what you were saying, not many people understood. Now, I'm going to get a little bit serious here for a minute, because I think it's important when we talk about our nervous system, because that plays a part in this as well. So somebody asked me the other day, they were waking up at certain times of the day, certain times of the evening. And one of the messages that came through was about grounding that nervous system. Is that nervous system safe? Because with all that we go through, energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the one really, really great thing that we can do, as well as saying our prayers from an area not from lack, bringing that awareness back to the I am, is something I've been doing throughout this whole video. You gathered it yet? Breathing. We do it all the time without thinking, don't we? But how do you breathe? See, when we're in fight and flight mode, when we're in that, oh, everything's stressful, and again, it could even be in this build up to the new year, into the year of the fire horse. Because I know, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, there is so much amazing information out there. But especially maybe like a neurotypical or a neurodivergent brain can go, whoa, that's a lot of information. I now need to go and do this. I need to go and do that. Oh God, I haven't burnt this candle. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Ugh. Am I not a good person because I didn't throw oranges into my house first thing this morning? No. Sorry, I've had my fringe trimmed and I'm not too sure if it's the right length. So sorry, I keep playing with it. So it's that element of overwhelm. And whether, as I said, that is in your private life with regards to kids or family or mothers or friends or whatever the case may be, I don't know. Or it might be work. Or it could be a whole raft of things. I call it my 1 minute safe 1 minute to safety. And the main trick here, and which has been proven time and time and time again, that the longer the out breath, the more your system relaxes, because that says I'm not in hyper mode. Yeah. It says I'm not all tensed up. So however many seconds you want to breathe in for, I normally say about 4 and then hold for about 4. If you can do longer, great. But again, this isn't a competition. Or just because I'm saying 4, you have to do 4. No. The only thing I will say is with the out breath, that you try and do that for as long as you can. Again, if there's medical conditions and stuff like that in there, please keep those in mind. This isn't medical advice. This is purely an energetic thing. So please be aware if you do have various medical conditions and things. Okay. So it's in for 4. Some people close their eyes. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, doesn't matter. But do that about 4 or 5 times. One of the things I add to it sometimes, especially for those who have been in maybe slightly more traumatic situations or coming out of a traumatic situation or stuff like that, is just looking around the room, not necessarily moving your head all the way around and all that, picture that, whatever. It's not doing that. You're just in the back of my head, which I hope I've just brushed. I just realised that. I was like, oh, that's maybe not a good look. Anyway, I digress. So, and it's naming the bits in the room. And again, that tells your nervous system, yeah, you know what? I'm in my office. I've got a picture there. I've got a picture there. I've got my other larger screen there. The door's there. The dog's there. So do one and the other, both together, however you feel. But again, that just again helps with your connection. Sorry, I keep on getting glare in these glasses. That just helps with that connection. That just helps bring everything down. Because again, as I've been saying, we are in a period now, or we've been going into a period where everything around us is changing. Everything around us is realigning. Everything within us is recalibrating. And I'm going to go on to another video about that later. So our nervous system is going, what the fuck? What the heck is going on here? So just bring it down. You're not putting walls up. You're not adding layers and layers of protection. Again, plugging loads of videos here. So, like, for an example, if and when you do wake up in the middle of the night, say 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and you think, what's going on there? Just breathe. I'm not saying that will be the be-all and end-all and that's going to solve all your problems. Not by any stretch. I'm not saying you do have any. And then bring the awareness back to self. Because you know what? One of the things I used to struggle with a lot, and I'm being really honest here, is that a lot of people used to tell me, go here, focus on here. Focus on the pineal gland. Oh, yeah, it's all good. But then I started linking in here. Yeah, I mean, we're talking years ago. And that's when it hit me. That's when I got it. That's when that connection really powered up for me. Because they're linked into here, linked into here, linked into here, and so on. See? So it's bringing the awareness back to the I am, your starting point. It's not coming from lack. You're going, I am, da, 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 da. You're then bringing in those, you might want to call them as like data centers, the chakras, they're data centers, because they're processing, they're working, they're filtering, aren't they? Because in many traditions, it's kind of like they're a wheel, and a wheel is working. A wheel, you know, like was it back in the olden days where they used to have the water wheel and it used to pick up and then drop off, pick up, drop off. So it's kind of like, especially maybe like the base one. So like, am I safe? Yeah, I'm safe. I'm grounded. Lovely. That's going to then start moving very nicely. Next one. Am I feeling am I feeling me? Am I feeling into? Yep, that's fine. And so on and so forth. Then it's the nervous system. What's that nervous system doing? How am I feeling into that? What is everything sort of calmed down? Because again, we're finding out things about people we've looked up to. We're finding out about people that have been running our countries. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've known about this type of stuff. I'm one of these conspiracy theorists for longer than I care to imagine. There's some people, I must confess, who did shock me. I'm not saying I know everything, not by any stretch of the imagination. There was a few where I thought, oh, I didn't expect you to. And again, that's a shock to the nervous system. You think, oh, I thought they were a really nice person and da 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 da. And now that's just been shattered. Again, nervous system. So I go back to what I was saying at the start around all of it, a lot of this information that's coming out at the moment, including from me. Now, as I said, one of the reasons I wanted to start this was also to take you on the rest of my journey with me as well. So at the moment, it's very much sharing information, but the more maybe I kind of get my setup done, But the more we go through this year is the more that I will be kind of sharing. And I have done on other channels, especially like the Oracle of Delphi and Lady D's channel, which I believe we're going to be doing some more on as well, which will be absolutely fantastic. And a shout out to all my soul sisters. Love you very much. But it's about authenticity. It's about showing the good and the bad. It's about showing the down days and the up days. Because trust me, I have them. Yesterday, I done life admin. Oh, and trust me, neurodivergent brain, loads of numbers. Whoa, talk about burnout. Rest of the afternoon, that was it. Switch off. I was like, no, I'm done. Press the off button. It was black and white movies for the rest of the day. Even color couldn't even bypass this. But you know what? I had a nice refresh just before I went to bed. Woke up this morning, ready to give it another go. You know what? And that's okay. Oh, I did put in there a little bit of doom scrolling too. Because I needed that little bit of a, what do they call it? I can't think of the word. Dopamine hit. Needed a bit of that as well. So, as I said, there is, and as we move more and more into this time, as we recalibrate, I think one most important takeaway from this, apart from those 3 measures that I mentioned, and there are more, but I thought let's just start with that and see how we go. I can talk. Is to go in, asking how does this feel for me? What does this mean for me? And I'm going to say that in all my videos, and it might sound like as though I'm being a bit of a broken record, but it's true. And there are going to be other ones around the fall of the narcissist, around manipulation, and so many other topics which we'll be covering as well. But if there is anything in particular that you'd like me to cover, questions, anything like that, please do put them in the comments below. Oh, see, I'm not quite up to this yet. If you would like to reach out and you have made it to 28.5 minutes into this video, which I thought I was only going to be doing a 10-minute one, then all my details are below. AlarianResonance.com is the hub, is where all my blogs are, where I'll be sharing the launch of my new book in the next couple of weeks. Nice little plug there. Where you can look at my services, etc. So AlarianResonance.com, and so I'll put the link in the description below. So I hope that 1 or 2 bits have landed with you, aligned with you. And again, as I was saying before, if some haven't, you know what? That's okay. That is perfectly fine. Again, when you're watching others, you might think, oh, that doesn't quite align, or you know what? That's okay too. We are all different. We are all unique. None of us have the same fingerprints. So I'm just asking if there's anything else to cover off right now. And I believe it's this. You do you. Because no one else can do you better. That sounded a bit dodgy, but you know what I mean. And I'll get my fringe sorted out as well. Oh, and I can come a bit closer to the camera. See, this is all new world to me. It's fantastic. But yeah, as I said, we'll be talking about frequencies, vibrations, really starting to dive into the quantum self a little bit more as well. But this was just an opening to that. But here is my candle, if I can pick it up. Yes, I can pick it up. So from my heart to yours, sending love and thank you.